in the United States. So it will be between December to like March. That's our summer. Where here, of course, is the opposite, right? You have June till August or something.
Dude, I would say like Colombia is one of the best spots in the world. Medellín, Colombia.
Hmm.
Got 5 million people all in this cool valley. The temperature never gets colder than 60, never gets warmer than 80 degrees. And like I alluded to, 30 years ago, this was the murder capital of the world with Pablo Escobar and everything that was going on there. But now it is like safer than a lot of U.S. cities such as Baltimore, Chicago, San Francisco. And, the first time I've been there like 3 times now, but the first time I flew in, you land in the airport and you come out and you go through this like tunnel through this mountain. And it's about a 45-minute drive into the city. And it was nighttime. You pop out on this other side of this tunnel, and all of a sudden you just see this big valley with 5 million people and the lights. And it's just this beautiful thing. Like everywhere within the valley, you got this awesome vantage point. And so all the restaurants and cities, all the neighborhoods, you have a really cool viewpoint and scenery of like the rest of the city. And then the food there is so good. The people are like the friendliest people you ever meet. A lot of good culture. Reggaeton music is down there. So it's like the reggaeton capital of the world. And so everywhere you go, they're playing reggaeton. But man, I love it down there. And like the climate, there's not a lot of humidity. And it's just beautiful. Everything's green and lush. And it's just, I don't know, man. It's cool. I like hanging out there. They call it the gateway to South America. And so I went there first. That was my first city I ever visited in South America. And now I've been to Argentina. I've been to Brazil. But Medellin's still my favorite so far. But I got to check out Lima. I want to check out some other areas of Peru. I want to go down to Chile. I would love to go down to Venezuela. I know it's not the best time right now to go down there, but I got a buddy actually on the podcast recently, Jack McCall. He went down there for a big skydiving trip in Venezuela, and he was like, dude, it was actually pretty safe and pretty cool as long as you stay in the right areas. So anyways, I say all this in that if you're a listener and you're like, hey, like I want to go to South America, but I've been kind of holding off, like you need to go down there. You got to check it out and you got to experience it. It's a whole nother world down there.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Totally
Yeah.
agree.
So anyways, dude, so you grew up in Peru. How did your family like end up coming over to America? Like talk to me about that story.
Yeah. So basically, so it was 1999, and Peru, it just wasn't the safest place at the time. And for example, my mom, she had her purse stolen at a red light, once with a gun, once with a knife. Our car got stolen, and it was more like, oh my gosh, like, and it got stolen right outside my aunt's apartment. And so we had to restart a few times like that. And my parents were like, hey, you know what? This is not the best place. There used to be a lot of corruption too. And we decided to move to the States. Miami was
Number one.
where we moved. Yeah,
Okay.
because my dad's sister lived there. And we came here with a tourist visa. So my parents told me about it. And my dad was like, my dad and my mom, they sat us down and they asked me, Diego, we're going to go to the United States. We're going to leave Peru. We want to get your opinion. Do you think that your dad should go first? Or do you think we should all go? And I was like, we're a family. Let's all go together. So they listened to me. I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. But we moved to Miami. And we moved to my aunt's house, and we slept for like 3 months in a bunk bed, the 4 of us. And my parents, the first week, they bought a van that we called the Ghost Train. We called it the Ghost Train because so it was $800 a van. It was a purple van. And we didn't know when it was going to turn on, when the AC was going to work, when the windows were going to come down or up or anything. And it will just stall at red lights randomly. So we call it the Ghost Train because we thought it was haunted, but it just didn't work as well. But that was our first car, right? And so we came here with basically zero, and we were able to start. We came with the immigrant hustle and on the pursuit of that American dream.
Dude, I love that. Thatch Ginn was on the podcast a couple months ago, and he has a similar story. He grew up in Vietnam. And his whole family came out here with like literally nothing but $100 to their name, and they were put up in Camp Pendleton. He didn't speak a lick of English, and now he's built this big thing. And I always say like people that are self-made, for whatever reason, man, it just hits different. And I know right away when I talk to folks that are entrepreneurs, business owners, the ones that are self-made, man, especially the ones that come from humble beginnings, are just more grateful. They're more humble. It's just something about their persona that hits a little bit differently. And then you get the other folks that are not self-made, and you're born into whatever you're born into, right? But there are some folks out there, I feel like the more arrogant ones, the cocky ones, the entitled ones, those folks tend to not be self-made. And I do notice a difference. And so I always appreciate someone more if they are self-made because of all the reasons that I just alluded to.
Yes. And I feel like coming here in the United States is like, since we started from nothing, it's very easy for us to like, we appreciate everything because the only way to go anywhere is up, right? We already know what zero is like. We can go back to our country and we don't want that, right? So it's like now we come here, we see opportunity. And that's one of those things that my parents did teach me was work ethic and persistence to achieve your goals and your dreams, because their work ethic is what has helped me lead by example. Like they led by example and it helped me be the person that I am today.
Yeah. For me, for example, like 5.5 years ago, I was working full time as an air traffic controller. I was living paycheck to paycheck. I literally was living in a tiny 1-bedroom condo. I had a car payment. I would go out a couple times a month and I was like broke after that. And the only thing I had to my name was investing into a 401k, right? And so now fast forward to today, like a lot of people that I meet, they see like all the stuff that I have now, the cars, the boat, office, all this stuff. And they say like, oh, it must be nice. But I'm like, no, like this version of me, what you see today is brand new. I never had this up until now. This is all brand new. And so because of that, I will always be very humble and I will always be very grateful and very appreciative of everything I have, because 5 years ago, I didn't have any of this.
Exactly.
It was all brand new to me. And so it hits a lot differently, right?
Yes, exactly. And then people see where you are now and they're like, oh my gosh, he got so lucky, right? But what they don't see is a lot of the work, the nights and everything that you put in to become the person that you are today, right? And they feel like they sometimes may skip that because they don't know what they don't know. But I believe that you have to go through a certain amount of sacrifice or grind to be able to appreciate really where you can get to be. And then when other people will tell me, hey, I can't do this because of this or because of that, I'm like, hey, it's part of the journey. You just have to continue. Let me help you, see how I can help, maybe give you some guidance. But it's like you have to go through those struggles, because sometimes I always say too is comparison is the thief of joy. Because on social media, we share our highlight reels. Sometimes we do share the big ups and downs, but people just see those highlight reels and they think that everything becomes easy, that everything is easy on the way up. And it's a roller coaster ride. So people begin to compare, oh, he was able to achieve that. Oh, he has that. It's like, yeah, but you don't know all the no's that I had to go through to get to that final yes, for example.
Yes, absolutely. I will also say this, man, like it's good to be humble. It's good to be grateful. And I tell the team all the time, like, we're building a big thing, right? And I'll always be humble. I will always be grateful. But I say like, this is just the fucking beginning. Like we are just getting warmed up. And when I say that, I mean that, because if you think about it, man, like 5 years ago, I was working full time as an air traffic controller. I didn't have any of this. I didn't know anything about business. I didn't know anything about real estate investing, right? And so to think that we could do all this in a relatively short amount of time, it's like, yes, I'm very appreciative of it, but the bar has never been so fucking low at the same time. And so I see what's in front of us. I see what's out there. And I'm like, this is just the fucking beginning, right?
Yes.
And I mean that.
Yes.
But
yes. And there's a quote from Hal Elrod. He wrote the book, The Miracle Morning. He said once in 2014 was when I heard it on somewhere. And he said, be happy with the life that you have as you pursue the life of your dreams, right? So be happy with what you have right now. You have to be grateful, but that doesn't mean that you need to stay there. Just pursue the life of your dreams. And I feel like that for me was really helpful at the time where I was, because it just caused me to appreciate what I had, but still have that hunger to pursue more. And that's something that it also determines, or it did for me, that happiness is a choice. And that for me is very important, because once you have gratitude or you're happy, you change the frequency of your life, like your energy, right? And I told you in the beginning, I'm like, hey, I like the energy in this room. It's really good. The vibes. And I feel like that's really important so that you can align yourself so that when things begin to happen, you're like, how did this happen? Or how did this happen? It's like you're just on a path.
Hmm.
That's important.
Yeah, it's so big, dude. Energy and vibe and all that is so important.